All right, let's evaluate this definite integral. So the integral from 25 to 100 of the square root of x dx. So to do this one, what I'm going to do first is just rewrite it so I can see the exponent. So still evaluating from 25 to 100, but this time, instead of a square root, because our index here is a 2, I can rewrite this square root as 1/2 as an exponent. Now we actually haven't taken the antiderivative yet, we've just rewritten it, so now we can use the power rule. So in using the power rule, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to increase the exponent by 1. So 1/2 plus 1, or 1/2 plus 2/2 makes 3/2. And then typically we divide by this new exponent. We would want to put 1 over 3/2 out in front. But equivalently to that, let's multiply by the reciprocal. So multiply by 2/3 out in front. Next, we're going to evaluate this between 25 and 100. I'm going to get rid of this. Dividing by 3/2 was equivalent to that multiplying by 2/3. So, plugging in here shouldn't be too bad. But as I work on this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have 2/3. And instead of 3/2 as an exponent, let's rewrite that as a radical. I think this is easier to visualize with a radical involved. So that radical is going to have an index of 2 because our denominator is a 2. So that's going to be a square root. For our case, what I'm going to do is I have a choice of that 3, our exponent. That 3 could either go on the inside with the x, or it could go on the outside. So what I'm going to suggest is, in this case, I'm going to put it on the outside. Not that we aren't allowed to put it on the inside. So I'm going to think of this as the square root of x then gets cubed. That still works out meaning the same thing as x to the 3/2 power. So we want to evaluate this between 25 and 100. So I'm going to bring the 2/3 along, the constant comes along, and I'm really just going to focus on replacing into this function, right? So the 2/3 is going to come along and be applied to everything. So first we have the square root of 100 is going to be cubed, minus the square root of 25 is going to be cubed. So replace the x with the upper bound, subtract, replace x with the lower bound. All right, from here the 2/3 has come along from the outside. Next, I would say the square root of 100 makes 10, but it's going to be cubed, minus the square root of 25 makes 5, but it's going to be cubed. All right, so 2/3. And then 100 cubed is 1,000, right? 10 times 10 times 10. Minus 25 cubed is 5 times 5 times 5 makes 125. So I'm going to say 2/3 comes along. On the inside of our parentheses, we can say 100 minus 125 makes 875. Think of that as being over 1. So multiply numerators together, 1,750. Multiply denominators together, we're going to get a 3 down there. This won't reduce down any further, so that's a perfect exact answer. Hope this helps out. Good luck.